Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ellen. I'm an artist. Today is a vlogging day. So I won't say, so for legal reasons, I won't say what day of the week it is or the date because I have some tea to spill with you guys. Not really tea, but just like, I don't know, something I did today that I'm very proud of. Anyway, so I just came back from a job interview, and before you guys ask, no, I did not do my makeup like this to go to the job interview. I actually came home, saw that my makeup was messed up because I rushed through my concealer and I put on my powder, like my powder eyeshadow on top of wet concealer, and then I put on like the powder to try and like mattify it and hurry up, make it dry. And then it was super windy today, so my eyes were watery, and I was like blotting at my face a lot because my eyes were watery. And then by the time I saw what I looked like in the mirror, it was too late. The interview was already gone. But I noticed that patches of my makeup were like missing and crease around the under eyes. Like I was just walking around looking crazy. And I want to do more content today, so I just said, you know what? I'm just gonna take a oil cleanser, rub my eye makeup off, and then put on some concealer and rebuild. And here we are. So I'm loving the way things look. It was just a very softer, more toned down version of this. And I think I'm gonna put a few clips of me actually doing my makeup earlier today so you guys can get a feel of what that looked like. A realistic, toned down, interview friendly makeup look for me. So before I get into, how the interview went and everything, I just want to say that one, I'm grateful that the jobs that I'm applying to are getting back to me. Two, I did not let this ruin my day. I used to, like when I have job interviews, the job interview will be the highlight of my day. So if it went well and I feel like I was gonna get the job, then it's like I have a good day. But if it doesn't go well, then I feel like I wasted my time, I wasted my energy. I knew something was off, the vibes were off. It was a waste of time. I should have stayed home. But I didn't feel that way today because one, it was in the same area as where one of my friends live, and I was able to connect with her and hang out with her for a little bit. Just stop by, say hi, hang out for a little bit, and go home. So it wasn't a complete waste. But the red flags were red flagging, but I be trying to hear me out a lot of these places. I be trying to like, okay, I'm not gonna be so judgmental. We listen and we don't judge, except for it's me and I'm judging. Not every place is perfect. They look a little new. So, just give them grace. Let's go check it out. Let's go hear them out. Let's go see what they're talking about before I completely dismiss them and decide to go somewhere else. So, yeah, the red flags are red flagging. But I reported this business today because I noticed that when I was in the lobby, the smoke alarm or the carbon monoxide alarm, whatever alarm it is that makes that annoying beeping noise that you hear on TikTok that people say is black noise, I was like, absolutely not. That's unacceptable. It's one thing for that to be in your home, because you can't complain if you go to someone's home and it's like that, because it's like, okay, well, you're in their home, that's their business. I'm not gonna get into that. But the fact that it is a place of business and it is a place where people go for healthcare, I just thought it was really unprofessional. So as soon as I got home, I got settled, I ended up calling 311 and reporting them. I was just like, hey, I just came back from a dental office, and I noticed that when I was in the lobby, either the smoke alarm or the carbon monoxide alarm, I'm not sure which one it was, but it has this really loud beeping noise every 30 seconds. I don't know if that's a hazard or not. And you're like, that's a hazard. I was like, okay, well, I just wanted to report it to see if somebody wants to go check it out, investigate, or, whatever. and I said the name of the business, and I said the name of the business and the address. I don't know if anything is gonna come of it. I don't know if they're gonna get fined. I don't know if somebody's gonna go out there and do an inspection. I don't know how long that's been going on, but if that's something that's being neglected and that's something that I noticed just going in there for an interview, then the red flags that I also noticed were just like absolutely not. But yeah, I did report them. So that's why I'm saying I'm not gonna say the date, and I'm not gonna say the date of the week that it is today at the time of recording, just in case by some odd chance somebody from that office somehow, some way finds my social media and sees this video and knows that it was me. But yeah, I just wanna say that, you know, if you go into an interview, if you go into a place of business and you notice that something's not right, report them, okay? Report them. I'm so sick of you guys getting on the internet and waiting until the job does you dirty and fires you or cuts your hours or, you know, whatever the hell, to be like, oh yeah, and by the way, that's why you guys were eating pig knuckles instead of actual chicken nuggets. And that's why there was rat poop in the back. And that's why there was dead roaches on the countertop and all this other crazy shit. Like, no, report that shit as soon as you see it. Don't wait until you get hired and get the job and do you dirty. And then you're like, yeah, and I'm going to spill the tea on how awful this place was. Like, no, just report them right then and there, okay? And like, oh, don't be like, oh, I really want a job, I really need a job. It's like, bruh, when I was coming home from this job, another job called me and asked me to come in for another interview later on in the week. And at the time of this interview, I didn't check my email until after the fact, but another place had emailed me during the time that I was in that interview to reach out for an interview. So this is not my only option. It's not like, oh, if I don't get this job, I'm screwed. It's like, no, there are other jobs out there. It'll be okay. If you see something, say something, even if it seems small, you know, just like report it. Because one, this office accepts Medicaid patients. And I'm a Medicaid patient. So I'm not saying that to come across as being classist. I'm saying from personal experience in working in healthcare and working in dental offices that a lot of times Medicare patients are less likely to either notice or report a lot of red flags because they're just grateful that you're accepting them as a patient, because most private dental offices do not accept Medicaid. They only do PPO, they only do private insurance. They do not mess with Medicaid. Most of the dental offices that I've worked with, the doctors are adamantly against accepting Medicaid patients. They do not want to deal with all the problems that comes with the insurance and everything, and they don't want to mix their Medicaid patients with their PPO patients because there is a stigma with Medicaid patients that they're poor, they're uneducated, they stink, they're gonna have bad behavior, they're gonna be homeless, they're gonna be on drugs, they're gonna be these unsavory people in their eyes that scare away higher earning clients who have that private insurance. People who have really good insurance and work really good jobs with really high pay, they are reluctant to go to the same practices that accept Medicare patients because a lot of them are homeless, a lot of them are elderly, a lot of them are on drugs, a lot of them do look a little rough around the edges and they're not like these super polished people that you see like in the corporate world or whatever. They're like a mix of all types of people. So a lot of times Medicaid patients, they're just happy to be there. They're just happy that you accept their insurance, and they're not looking for things to report. They're not going to say like, hey, I don't think that this office is up to standard because someone wore gloves to come up to the front and touch something and then go in the back. I think there needs to be an investigation about how sanitary they are. Like, people aren't going to be like, hey, the smoke alarm's going off. I think this place should be investigated. And a lot of times, even when you do put in those reports, if they're in predominantly black or brown neighborhoods, people don't really care to investigate, to be honest. Like, unless somebody is like a journalist or investigator, someone is like a whistleblower and they sound the alarm on something that's going on, these things don't get reported. And if that's something that I noticed just being there for like 20 minutes, just sitting there waiting for them to interview me, then I can only imagine how much other stuff is going on that just gives me signs that it's going to be a toxic work environment. When I notice signs of a toxic work environment, I avoid it like the plague. That may sound a little bit dramatic, but I already have health issues. I already have low energy, chronic fatigue, health issues, and all this other stuff going on. And I'm not willing to put myself in a position where I know that I'm going to reach the point of burnout. I know I am only going to keep this job for a couple of days, a couple of weeks, maybe a month or two at best. And while I'm at this toxic job, giving them all my time and all of my energy, which is very limited as is, there's all these other offices that would be a much better fit for me that I'm missing out on the opportunity to work with. And I would rather, focus on that instead. But yeah, I'm glad that I was able to hang out with my friend for her lunch break because she works at home some days. It was nice to just stop by and say hi. So there's that. Like, that was a positive thing. Two, I'm glad that I've gotten to a point in life where I'm okay leaving behind potential job opportunities when I notice red flags and not have this scarcity mindset of, well, that's not really the best option, but we should just accept it until we find something better. It's probably not going to be that bad because I just know better. I know that when I've had those experiences of when I try to give a job a chance, even though I know it's not right for me, even though I see the red flagging, those places have terrorized me. Those places have made it so that I have like PTSD and all this other stuff. And I just don't want to go through all that. And I don't think I should have to, especially for a part-time job. Okay, speaking of part-time jobs, I'm so sick of applying to part-time jobs. And then I show up to the interview and the interviewer is like, we only have full-time availability. And it's like, you placed an ad for a part-time job. I searched for a part-time job and I found you. And I read the description and I see the button that says part-time highlighted. And I'm reading the description and it says part-time and full-time availability. Just let us know what works for you. I was very specific and very intentional in my search and I found you. And now you're telling me that you didn't know that the job post said that? So you are putting out job ads that you don't read. You're putting out ads on the internet and you don't know what it says? You don't have any type of communication with the recruiters and all that? My friend, she works in HR and she says that there's a lot of discrepancies and, a lot of communication issues when it comes to the companies and everything. A lot of times they're not the ones that put out the ads. They put out a description of what they want that's very generic. And then, like an AI script pops up and they send it out to a third party company, and that third party company is the one that posts those ads on sites like Indeed, ZipRecruiter, Career Builder, Monster, and all of that. So it is a possibility that the office manager that interviewed me did know what was going on my end. Okay, that is a possibility. But I feel like if you run a business and time is money, and you do a lot of things to cut corners and save time for the sake of saving money and making money with the business, why wouldn't you take those extra steps to make sure that everything flows easier? Like, the clearer you are in your job description about exactly the kind of people that you want, then the better applicants you're going to have find and respond to those job posts, and the faster you're going to be able to hire someone, and the more time, aka money, you're going to save on the whole interview process. So yeah, like I don't get that. I just don't understand the logic in that. I just feel like there is none. And this has been my experience with jobs for like the past year or two. And I'm just sick of it. I'm sick of applying to part-time jobs and then it's actually full-time. I'm sick of applying to jobs in Chicago and then I go to the interview and they're like, we're in Winnetka, we're in Glendale, we're in Glenwood, we're in Indianapolis, we're in Indiana. And then you're like, no, I applied to a job in Chicago. You posted an ad for jobs in Chicago, and then they'll be like, well, Chicagoland area, it's just around the city. And it's like, no, you have to pass at least 3 suburbs to get there. And some of those places you need to pay a toll, and it's the only way in and out of those suburbs. Like, stop playing with me. That is not only outskirts of Chicago. That's not the same thing. There's a huge difference between Chicago and Illinois, okay? And I don't want to be in Illinois. I only want to be in Chicago. If you know, you know, okay? Even if I did drive, even if I did have a car to like go to all those places, I don't like the bait and switch. I don't like the lies. And I don't like it when I say I'm looking for a part-time job because I apply to the part-time job that you place an ad for. And instead of, saying, oh, we prefer full-time, sorry for wasting your time and ending the interview right there. You're just like, well, why do you want to work part-time anyways? What do you have going on? Well, how much do you want to work? Are you going to be available 3 or 4 days a week? Like, we need people that are going to be able to work. Well, if you only work part-time, you're not going to get any benefits. And it's like, why are you interrogating me about wanting to work part-time when you're the one who put out an ad for a part-time job that I responded to? Like, I'm not understanding the logic. Like, why are you interrogating me? Like, I said what I said, the same way you posted what you posted. Like, I'm not getting it. I'm really not getting it. So, I don't know, it's just been frustrating. And it's like, I just want a job that I can do part-time to support myself and my creative journey and have something that's going to be able to support my overall health and well-being. When jobs give you insurance, they're not really giving you insurance. They're giving you a discount on the insurance that they already paid for. And then they don't even tell you like what the coverage is or anything, so you can compare and contrast between different jobs to see who has the best insurance. You don't find out about the coverage until after you get the job. And then you don't even get the insurance until after a probation period. Like, you gotta work there for 90 days or 6 months or a year or whatever before you can even get the benefit of the insurance. So it's like a little carrot stick that they're dangling in your face, hoping that you're just gonna keep working and working towards. And it's like, no, it doesn't work that way. First of all, I already have health insurance. I'm very fortunate to have Medicaid, and it's literally been a lifesaver, and I hope they don't take it away because it really is saving a lot of lives, including mine. So I'm not really looking for a job to provide me with health insurance, and I can already tell just by the way this lady was talking at me and not to me. I was like, you run a tight ship. And I don't want that type of vibe. I don't want that type of energy. I don't know, just the vibes were off. I can go on and on, but I'm sure that stuff is probably boring to you all. But yeah, like if you see something, say something, report things. This is what my makeup looks like today. I did not, I repeat, I did not wear my makeup like this to go to a job interview today or any other day. I wore a way softer look and a way shorter liner, and nobody saw my lips because I wore a mask, so I wasn't really worried about like putting on a lighter color lipstick. So there's that. But yeah, like I know they say don't judge a book by its cover, don't be too quick to judge because you never know, but I know that that's not the place for me, and I know that there's better opportunities out there for me. And I want you guys to know that you do not have to accept whatever the hell people just want to throw at you. You're allowed to make decisions for yourself. You're allowed to have options. You're allowed to say, you know what, this isn't a good fit for me for a variety of reasons. I don't feel like explaining. Good luck to you in your search, but I'm going to pursue other opportunities. I'm going to pursue other opportunities, and it's totally fine. But yeah, like that was my day today. I didn't do a lot of vlogging when I was out and about because I was just cold, hungry, and tired, and just really wanting to go home. Like I just kind of got sick of being outside and out and about, and I didn't want to, like I just didn't want to be out and about so much today. Like I had my job interview. I was just gonna do my job interview and come home. But I ended up stopping at my friend's house and hanging out with her for a little bit, and then I went home. I took the bus downtown, and then I went to Cafe Cito to get a vegan sandwich because I used to go there a lot when I used to work at the water tower place, so I know they have vegan sandwiches. I tried a different one than I normally get, and I accidentally forgot to tell them not to add cheese to it, and I tasted it. First of all, when I pulled the sandwich in half, I saw it was stretchy, and I was like, ugh, I hate when cheese stretches. That's why I don't eat that shit. And I was like, well, I'm just gonna take a bite and see if I like it. And it had that glue texture that I hate in fucking cheese. And I had to ask him to remake it. But I'm gonna like give the sandwich to my partner when he gets home, because he'll like it. He likes cheese, he eats dairy, but I just don't. One of the reasons why I am a plant-based person is because I do have sensory issues and I do have texture issues, and I just genuinely don't like a lot of animal-based products. I never liked the taste of milk. I stopped liking eggs when I was like 8. I got to a point where I stopped liking cheese, and over time at first it was just mozzarella, and then it was just any cheese that stretched, and then it was cheese when it becomes sticky and turns into like a glue, and then it just became cheese period because all the dairy products reminded me of milk because milk is slimy because it has mucus in it. And then when I was like 18, I stopped liking meat. Like it just stopped existing as a form of food to me. So it made sense to cut all that stuff out because I just genuinely don't like it. So like all these meat options for vegans, can y'all just put some protein powder in a black bean burger or in like a mushroom burger or something? We don't need all these realistic textures and tastes and smells and looks and colors and all of that. I don't want vegan meat that's so realistic that I genuinely can't tell the difference between that and real meat, to the point where I'm paranoid that somebody's gonna just serve me real meat and say that it's vegan just to troll me because they have something against vegans, and they don't understand that I have not eaten meat in the entirety of my adult life. Like I'm 33 years old. I have not eaten meat since I was 18. That is an entire lifetime. And I have sensory issues and texture issues, digestive problems. Like, it genuinely makes me sick and I cannot do it. There have been a few times where I have accidentally eaten meat here and there because maybe somebody got my food wrong or there was a mix up or whatever, but I have not intentionally eaten meat since I was 18. So I need to have clear indicators like this is a vegetable and this is meat. I don't need the blurred lines. I don't like that. Like, I'll eat it if it's an option, but I really do prefer real food, okay? I prefer beans, I prefer tofu, tempeh, edamame, natural forms of protein that is less processed and my body can easily recognize as like a whole food, not all this other stuff. But yeah, I'm kind of rambling and I don't know. I need to like clean the house and do some art and make this vlog a little bit more interesting for you guys. But yay, I'm home and this is my makeup. Every time I do my makeup like this or similar, people tell me I look like a cat, and I think it's just because I have almond-shaped eyes and the way that I do my eyeliner, especially like the inner corner points and the outer is kind of cat-inspired and cat-like. But yeah, that combined with, how my eyes look, people always tell me I look like a cat. And I'll never forget that lady that literally yelled pussy at me in the middle of a fucking restaurant. I was like, what the fuck? But yeah. Alright, I will see you guys later. Bye.